Sola Adesakin is a visionary leader dedicated to guiding individuals, communities, and countries towards wealth and abundance. Through her make, manage, and multiply money messages, she empowers people of all professional levels and ages through published books, communities, courses, conferences, and financial literacy tools. Her approach combines an awareness of God's abundance, leveraging unique talents, and achieving financial success. Sola Adesakin, an experienced chartered accountant, serves as a personal finance coach, author, and sought-after speaker. Through her Smart Stewards blog and the Smart Stewards Academy, she has helped numerous individuals overcome stress and debt while influencing women through her teachings and global media appearances. Her expertise in designing effective financial systems for SMEs has been tested and proven by corporate clients. With a strong educational background, including a BSc in Applied Accounting, fellowships with professional accounting bodies, an MBA, and a certificate in entrepreneurial management, Sola Adesakin continues to inspire individuals on their path to financial well-being and purposeful lives.
Ladies and gentlemen, please let's rise up on our feet and a round of applause for Mrs. Sola Adesakin. Please put your hands together for her.
Put your hands together for
Put your hands together for her.
Thank you so much, ma, for gracing us with your presence.
Thank you so much, ma.
How are we all doing? Please be seated. Thank you so much for the organizers for inviting me here. It's a rainy day, here in Otta, and of course in Lagos where I came in from this morning. I want to thank you, the president of the club. I want to thank you, Ma, for bringing me again. I think this is my second time here. And just like Pastor Steve Auger said about Mr. What's his name now? The first speaker. Yes, about him spying into his notes. I think Pastor Steve also spied into my notes. But it just means one thing, that the knowledge that we hear today has the potential and the capacity of revolutionizing our finances. Let me tell you, first of all, I am jealous of all of you. You know why? When I was in school, I finished school 23 years ago. There was never a time where a financial conference like this was held. So even though I read accounting in school, I became a... Yes. If you want to clap, clap. Yes. Thank you. I came out of school as an accountant, and by a year after, I became a chartered accountant with ICANN in 2021 or so, which makes me a fellow of ICANN. I'm also a fellow of ACCA. I have CPA in Canada as well. But why am I saying all of these things? Where we were in school, nobody taught us about building wealth. They only taught us how to become an accountant and, leave school, go and practice accounting or whatever, and just figure things out. So even as a chartered accountant, I was always broke. I was always confused. And the first thing I want to tell you this day is that what you are learning in school, yes, would have an impact on how far you're able to go in life, but it would not determine how much of wealth you will build. But you see the things that you have been hearing since morning about wealth, and I'm glad that, some of these things are being incorporated into our curriculum. Those are the things. So it's a different thing to learn accounting in school, but it's another thing to learn financial literacy. So I came out of school, I started to work, got a few gigs here and there, and then I hit a very good job that was paying me about $500,000 about 18, 20 years ago. Now, when I say $500,000, I mean 500,000. Now, in those days, 500,000 was a lot of money. Do you agree with me? Even now, 500,000 is a lot of money. If I give you 50,000 naira now, what would your reaction be? Anybody? Who needs 5,000? Urgent 5,000. Who needs urgent 50,000? So, who needs, this one cannot be urgent, 500,000. So imagine the value of 500,000 naira then. But I was always broke, my sisters and brothers in the Lord. 1 week after salary, I was broke. And I'm glad that I'm in a Christian faith environment. So each time I went to church and our pastor would say, whoever needed prayer should come out, guess what? I'll be out. Because I thought village people were after my life. Because how could I be earning 500,000 per month and 1 week after I was broke? I couldn't understand where my money was going. And I took a lot of really terrible money decisions. And I will say that even though I was a chartered accountant, my finances were scattered and all over the place. But you know what I was lacking? What we are talking about today. Financial literacy. And that's why I said, see, go to school all you like, read accounting all you like, read banking and finance all you like. That's a good step. But to build wealth on an individual level, you need to understand the dynamics of financial literacy. I remember I said, I am really jealous of you because nobody was teaching us these things now. You have the potential of taking all of these things, running with them, and you know what? This, our own generation, we haven't seen anything. You see people in their 20s, early 20s, making money. The lady that came with me today, we were on our podcast together, and she was telling me how she sold her first real estate deal at 23. Do you see? These things work. Personal financial principles work. So I just thought to lay that foundation that you may be in Covenant University, you may not even have 5,000 naira in your account. You may be doing urgent 2K. But the potentials that you have, don't trade it for anything. I wish I could just swap places with somebody today. Just come and go back to my house. Go and meet my 3 sons. Let me stay here and do school. You are so blessed and privileged. And I hope somebody has taken something from there. Now, my topic is setting a personal financial structure to aid your financial journey. All you need is to have a vision of the future that you want. And I really like a quote that says, nothing guarantees a good future like a correct picture. And you cannot feature in a future you cannot picture. Can I say that again? Nothing guarantees a good future like a correct picture. And you cannot feature in a future you cannot picture. Taking on what Pastor Steve said earlier on, your ability to build wealth is based on your ability to see far. I was talking with a cousin of mine a few weeks ago, and I remember when we were so little, maybe around 10 or 11, I was living with them at that time. And we will come out, they lived at Igbobi College, very big place, and we'll come out, and then we'll just be fantasizing. I would say, okay, so today we're going to the UK, then tomorrow we'll go to London, to the US, we'll go to this and that, and these are the things we'll buy for people when we are coming back. Those things were seeds. You know why? Because we watched a lot of TV, and we saw, so underground. Anyway, by the time I traveled to the UK for the first time, it felt familiar. You know why? Because I traveled to the UK in my heart, in my mind, many times. Just by the virtue of the things I was watching on TV. Just by the virtue of things I was reading in books and by conversations. So the first thing when we talk about becoming early millionaires is you need to have a future of the future, a picture of the future that you want. So, in 2 weeks' time, I'll be in the UK for a conference that my company organized. A few days after, I'll be in the US for a conference that I was invited to come and speak at. Those were things I saw when I was 10, when I was 11. Now, if we bring it home to our faith, to the Bible says now unto him who is able to do what? Exceeding, number one. Abundantly, number two. Above all that we what? First of all, ask. Number two, think. Are you with me? So you have to be able to think and conceive these things irrespective of where you are. So let me go into my slides. I know I have spent so much time laying the foundation. Please go along with my slides. I'm going to skip a few things. And I want to show you an image, what I call the human life cycle, to drive home a point and to make you realize that life is in phases. Life is in seasons. I finished school at 20. How many people are 20 here? Maybe nobody? Yeah. I finished school at 20, 23 years ago. So you can add up my age. And when I finished school, it looked like, I had the entire world ahead of me. But guys, time flies. The days seem so slow, but the years fly by so soon. I can remember vividly when I was in school. All of those prayers, all of those courses. I'm like 23 years just like that. Look at this image on the screen. And, the author was trying to tell us, or is trying to tell us that the human life cycle is divided into 3 phases. And that should help you with the decisions you take about your present and about your future. Phase 1, which is where 98% of us are in, is the education stage. You are in school. Your parents are funding your education. You can call home for urgent 2K. You can call daddy and mommy to say, my provision is finished. I need more money. And they will do what? They will sharply transfer to you. It will not be like that forever. At this stage, your aunts, your uncles, everybody, you can just feign something and say, you know what, I'm not even happy in school. Why are you not happy? I'm actually very broke. And somebody will send you money. Is it me with 3 sons that I will now be calling one auntie? In fact, everybody is even looking up to you because they see your face on post. Think that you have arrived, but we have arrived in Jesus' name. So everybody is asking, Ma, I'm broke. I got an email yesterday. I want to go and do robotics, whatever. I need 8 million. I'm like, The way people are looking at me, may God make it so for me. Oh. Phase 1, education. Don't joke with it. It's a very, very important and pivotal stage of your life. Whatever you do now will help you. And when we bring it home to wealth building, you know what? You have the time now. You have your colleagues. How many of you know Piggy Vest? Didn't they finish from Covenant University? Am I right? Do you know the amount of money those guys have as assets under management? I've worked with them a couple of times. It is mind-blowing. And how did it start? It started from school. So, age is on your side. Age is your asset, number 1. Your network and the people around you are your assets. Number 3, then you are in such a powerful environment like this, where you are listening to the best of the best, people who have results. We don't attend Winners Chapel, but my husband plays Bishop Oyedepo's messages overnight in our house to show you the potency. And you are right here on the ground. That's another asset. Should I go on? You have the time, you have people you can, rather than just asking for urgent 2K, you can use this time to raise money to build whatever it is you want to be. You want to build an app, you want to build a business. How many of you do business currently? I'm not saying do business in school, or I don't know what the policies are. But you have ideas. You have a business plan already. Phase 1. Now, phase 2, that's when you leave school. Let me tell you, from the very day you finish school, the dynamics change. That's when mommy and daddy will start to say, hey, we have invested in you. Now is the time for you to what? Reciprocate. Actually, they will say that your first salary has to be given to your parents. How many of you have heard that thing? Get ready. And by the time you give your first salary to your parents, what does that mean? Subsequent salaries, you must start to drop. That's what it means. So you see the sudden switch from daddy, give me urgent 2K. It is daddy that will now be saying, Omo, give me urgent 5K. So in your phase 2, you start to work. All of a sudden, one guy is toasting you, or you are toasting one girl. Then you decide that you are madly in love. Then you decide that you want to get married. Then you get married. And like me, all of a sudden, I have 3 boys chasing me to say, Mommy. Sometimes I look at my son, I'm like, how did all of this happen, Seth? Mommy, Cocoa Pops. Mommy, Golden Mo. I'm like, me? It just happened suddenly, my dearest. Phase 2. And guys, this will blow your mind. All of a sudden, your children are going to school. As I leave this place today, I'm stopping at Ambassadors. My son, my first son, is in SS2. He's going to go to uni next year. This me, Konkolo Mio. How? You now say I should be calling my mommy and daddy for urgent 2K. That dispensation has ended many years ago. All of a sudden now, my son that is 16 will now bring a girl home in 8 years' time to say, I want to marry. Then I will now become a grandmother. Say life. Say life. There's no time. You have to do whatever you want to do now. That's phase 2. Then phase 3, retirement. How many of you have parents who are retired? That's the whole essence of life. I thought to spend time on that slide to make you realize that, see, all the other stages of your life are fantastic, but this is your best stage. This is your best stage. To learn about money, to follow your passion, to discover your passion. This will make you laugh, but it's just off the record, on a lighter note. They will say that if you don't get a boyfriend or a fiancé in school, your journey is long. It's a lighter note. To me, I didn't meet my husband in school. I met my husband in my early 30s. Do you see? Yes, just before I was 30 or so. So, understand this and decide and make up your mind that you're going to what? Be passionate and resolute about building wealth. Let's go on. Now we are going to run. I'm not going to touch on all my slides. Are we okay? Can I continue? Are we still friends? Or is the bass becoming too much? Next slide. Don't worry, just keep moving. I'll tell you to either stay or skip. This is another life cycle. There's early career, there's mid-career, there's peak accumulation, there's retirement. All of those stages, there's something about your ability to build wealth on all of those stages. Move on, quickly. Move on. I've done my intros. I want to teach very briefly from my remaining minutes the be, no, do principle for creating wealth and for becoming an early millionaire. And I'm going to jump to the be, becoming. When we say you want to become a millionaire, what does it imply? Become. Becoming wealthy has to start from being. And that's why I like what Pastor Steve Auger said about the power of the mindset. There are people who touch money and money leaves them because it's just an accidental, how do they put it? You just stumble into, if you stumble into money, you will stumble out of it. But you must become wealthy first of all in your mind. Some of you here, you don't have 5,000 in your account or in your portfolio, but you have such a wealthy mindset that you believe that in this world you will be wealthy. And when we talk about the art of being, what does it mean? Your beliefs and attitudes about money. You can't see money as an enemy and expect to be wealthy. And I tell people, if you have money struggles, money is inanimate. You are animate. Something that is not a living being cannot be smarter than something that is a living being, isn't it? Can money breathe? No. Because you hear people, just like me, I don't know where my money is going. Does money have life? No. It is because I have not learned how to manage it. Francis Bacon says, money is a great servant, but a bad leader. Have you seen that quote before? They call money what? Currency, derived from the word current. And what is current? How many of you have been to the bar beach before? Do you see how the water moves? That's current. It goes from one place to another. If you do not learn how to tame your money will be everywhere. And that's why you collect money from POS or ATM on a Friday evening, 50,000. By Monday, you'll be like, it's only 2,000 left. Where did this money go? Does money have legs? No. Money takes on the nature of the person who has it. So, one of the beliefs that I had back then was, money doesn't like me. Money is not my friend. Money is too difficult to manage. No. Some of us have other limiting belief systems running as script in our mind. Oh, my parents are poor. Actually, my parents are late. Actually, my parents are not the ones sending me to school. Actually, my parents had it rough. And you know why? Social media glamorizes the wrong things these days. It's sad. Back then, there was nothing. In school, if anybody came to drop you, if your dad had a car and a driver, you are very rich. But these days, you go on social media, you see private jet, you see all of those things. Don't be inundated by those things. And don't allow them influence what you think about money. Are we still together? You need to have an abundance mentality. You need to overcome the limiting beliefs. Let's move on. So that's being. You need to go and read books. You need to go and research. You need to sit down to say, what beliefs do I have about money? Do I see money as an enemy? Do I see money as a stranger? In Nigeria, a lot of people believe that if you are not dishonest, you can't make money. How many of you think so sometimes? Some people believe that money is only for the politicians. Some people believe that you have to lie to be rich. No, those are limiting beliefs. Some people believe that even if you relocate, I have a cousin who relocated to Canada many years ago, and he keeps telling me, Shola, I cannot be a millionaire here. I just want to make ends meet, send my children to school. I'm like, why? Why are you doing this to yourself? A lot of people travel overseas from Nigeria, and they just want to run away from the system. And I tell people, it is better to be running towards something than to be running away from something. Do you agree with me? You are running away from whatever is happening in Nigeria, then you go overseas, you settle for anything. But if you are running towards, I will be wealthy, whether UK, whether America, it is not all of us that will jackpot. There are people who have jackpot and who have jackpot. We are still here. We will prosper. But if it is in your destiny, not to jackpot, but to relocate. Because when we talk about relocation, I look at it. There are a lot of people in the Bible who actually relocated. Do you know? Abraham relocated. Joseph relocated. Moses relocated. So it is not about relocating. It is about why are you relocating? Why are you schooling? Why do you want to school in the UK or in the US? Don't just run away from something. Run towards something. Don't be like those who will jackpot and those who will now then what? Jackpot. May that not be our portion. Next one, know. How do you know? If you want to build wealth, you can't just say, they say if you want to build wealth, we should have a very good mindset. Yes. It is not enough to have a great mindset and a believing mindset, you have to add knowledge to it. The Bible says faith comes by what? Hearing. And hearing what? The word of God. Wealth comes by what? Hearing. It is what you hear that will fuel the mindset that you already have. You must read books. How many of you have read at least one financial book this year? Some people are doing like this. How many of you have read at least two? Okay, there are some popular books about wealth that if you have not read, you're not ready. How many of you have read The Richest Man in Babylon? Wow, raise your hand, let me see. How many of you have read Rich Dad, Poor Dad? How many of you have read The Richest Man? I've mentioned that, right? How many of you have read As a Man Thinketh in his mind? Okay. How many of you have read The Smart Money Woman? Yeah, Arese is my friend, so yes. Now, how many of you have read my book, The 40 Frugal Rules for Your Journey to Financial Freedom? How many of you have read it? If you have not read it, as we are finishing this session, go and buy your copy. 40 simple things that would help you with your finances. It is important. There are other books that you can read. There's The Money Game by Tony Robbins. There is The Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. You must read. You must know. Next slide, please. Next slide. Let's go to doing. Now, as part of knowing, yes, embrace financial literacy. The person that introduced me talked about the 3 M's of money, which is what I teach. Go back to the 3 M's of money. Make money. And I need you to read that book, Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. Generate income. Because if you're not making money, you cannot build wealth. Then you move on to how to manage money. Because it is one thing to make money. It is another thing to be able to manage money. It is not what you make that makes you rich. It is how you manage what you make. Then we talk about multiplying money. We talk about investing. Do you understand? Investing in different asset classes. Now, let's talk about the final part of this conversation, and I'll give you some tips. The doing. So, don't forget, you become wealthy in your mind. Are we still together? You start to know by reading books and embracing financial literacy. Then you start to do. In Nigeria, we want to start from doing. That's why people invest in the wrong things. You see somebody say, if you do this thing, you'll get 300% in 1 month. How many of us have heard about those things? Then they will say, there's cryptocurrency. My friend made $5,000. The person has not become, has not known, the person just wants to do. My very first investment, even as a chartered accountant, was in a scam investment. They said, in 6 weeks, if you put down 300,000, you will get 900,000. Really? It was my friend that introduced. I just collected my own. Okay, so I called my sister in the UK. Sis, hey, we are going to blow. Many years ago. Then we pulled together about 1.2 million. This was 2006, my brethren. And we invested the money. 2 weeks to the time that we were supposed to arch and harvest our great seed was when the company collapsed. About 2 years ago, I was looking through my records and I saw the teller, me, a whole chartered accountant. I went to pay money to the bank, took the teller to an office somewhere on Ojodu, did not ask what they were using the money for. That's one of the downsides of doing without knowing. Tell your friend, become, know, then start to do. How do you do? Building wealth. Set financial goals based on the things that you have learned by acquiring knowledge. Do financial planning. Invest. Be mindful and disciplined. Some of us, we are still in school. You cannot account for the 10,000 naira or the 20,000 naira they give you maybe regularly. My sisters, if you cannot manage small money, you can't manage big money. It's not a curse. I can tell you for that for free. Be disciplined. It's not everything you want to eat. It's not everything everybody is buying you want to buy. You must learn to take risks. So let me share 7 points under doing, and then I'll tidy all of this up. Now, point number 1, as part of doing, go on. You must learn to budget. Tell your neighbor, budget. Some people will say, does a $10 budget? Does Aliko Dangote budget? Does Jeff Bezos budget? Sit down there. They budget. They have a team of accountants. I've worked with celebrities whose accountants are my own friend. We will work together. We will manage their finances. We will help them invest. Budget. Why do you think Jeff Bezos, shall we know who, Elon Musk. Do we know who Elon Musk is? Why do you think Elon Musk has moved from electric cars to space, now to Twitter? He's budgeting like, hey, this money is never enough. Oh. Do you know? Because if money is enough, these rich people, they should not be wanting to do more. Do you get it? There are a lot of forces contending against your finances. If it is not inflation, it is devaluation. Do you know all of those things? At least you must have done them in school. $1,000 at 360,000 naira 3 years ago is not the same today. You need 750,000 to buy $1,000. That's an anti-wealth factor. You must learn to budget. I budget. Let me make you laugh. I sent my house help because I buy in bulk, to save money, to the market yesterday. And I've always trusted her. Then she came back. She was showing me the things that she bought. Then she bought 1 tuber of yam like this. She said she bought it at 2,000 naira. I said, wait. The last one I bought myself online, we were in traffic, online shopping. I bought 4 longer tubers at 3,000. How could you have bought 1 tuber at, auntie is beginning to, I say, hey, this is what you want to do. But I budget. I know what is happening. Don't say I have a lot of money, I don't need to plan. That's tip 1. You must learn to save. And there are a lot of apps that can help you budget. I use Monify, Monefy. There are a lot of other ones. Point 2, quickly. I'll run through the 7. Set financial goals. What are the things you want to do as short-term goals? Things you want to do within the next 1 year. Those are short-term goals. Mid-term goals, the things you want to do between 2 to 5 years. Long-term goals, the things you want to do 7 years and above. Set goals. Don't just say, make your goals smart, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic. What's the meaning of that? You will, first of all, that's what I teach. I'm not saying SMART principle is not applicable. But first of all, say, some people want to build a house. They are earning 50,000 naira per month, but they want to build a house by December. You will go and steal. You must be specific, I agree, but you must be able to pace yourself to say, if I want to build a house, I give myself 2 to 3 years. For those who are in school, what are some of your plans? How many people are in 400 level or in their final year? What are your plans for immediately after school? The kind of income you want to make, where you want to work, when you want to buy your car, the kind of car you want to buy, the things you want to start saving for. Set financial goals. Start to set your marriage goals now. You want to have a fairy tale wedding. It's doable. Conceive it, and you will achieve it. Next slide. 3, save money. This one, I feel like kneeling down. Can I kneel down? Sure, I should kneel down. Save money. A Japanese proverb says that if you save money, money will save you. And look at that, whatever you have on the screen. Oh, you don't have phones. You have a tab. I want you to screen grab it or draw it on your paper. You earn money, you save part of it, you spend part of it, And what you have saved, you invest. You give it time and patience. Rinse and repeat. That is how to build wealth. Some of you will say, I don't have money as a student, so I can't save. Let me finish school, I will save. From the money they currently give you, save out of it. I tell people saving money is about building consistency. Investing is about building tenacity. Saving money is putting money aside. Investing is putting money to work. Tip number 4, quickly. Number 4, this does not apply to us. Is there anybody here that is in debt? Basic. God forbid. In Jesus' name, move on. Nobody here is in debt. Don't go and be taking loans. So in this day and age of quick loan, sharp loan. How many of you have received messages on your phone and they will say, your friend borrowed money? How many of you have received those? Oh, you guys don't know yet. Number 6, emergency funds. Yeah, right now, this may not be applicable to you, but when you're out of school, you need to save money for the rainy days. Today is a rainy day. Anything can happen. Your car can stop working. Your plumbing, something at home can just fall down. You need to save money for emergencies. You need to do insurance as well. In Nigeria, we think insurance, they're just taking our money. Overseas, they buy a phone, they insure it. Some people even insure their designer bags. They insure everything. Number 7, last tip, track your finances. Remember, we are talking about doing. Don't just say, yes, I'm saving, I'm investing, I'm doing this and that. You must track. I don't know why I omitted investment. Investing is one of the most assured or one of the surest paths to building wealth. And I think Dr. Stephen earlier on talked about investing, right? What are the things to invest in at your age? There are asset classes. You can do stocks. These days, you can buy fractional stocks. Buy a bit of Amazon, $20 worth of Amazon, $10 worth of this and that. So you can invest fractionally. You can do mutual funds. You can do real estate at very granular levels, you know. Let me see what's next on my slide. I think that's it. As I wrap up this conversation, I want to tell you that your personal financial success and becoming an early millionaire is your responsibility. Nobody is going to help you, not the government, not your parents. Yeah, they might help you, they might support you here and there, but the onus is on you to say, in this one world, you know we are not coming back. In this one world, I will succeed with my finances. Remember that you operate under 3 economies: your personal economy, the national economy of the country you belong, and the global economy. Invest in knowledge. Read about what is happening around the world. Read about cryptocurrency. I'm not saying go and do crypto. I'm just saying read extensively. And in these days of AI, ChatGPT, and all of those things, read, and read. I hope with these few points of mine, I've been able to convince you that you can become an early millionaire, and not just a millionaire, but a billionaire and a trillionaire. Maybe in the next 2 years or 3 years, we'll have another. Is there a zillionaire? Is there anything like a zillionaire? All right. If you have the time later, you can check out what we do as Smart Stewards on social media. You can go to our website, smartstewards.com. We have a package for those who are still in school. We have a 1-year community support, courses, videos, accountability pairing, and all of that for just 20,000 naira for a year. That's shawarma money for every month. So you can learn about finances. And we have a very vibrant community of youth, people who are between 16 and 22, sharpening one another about career, about business, about finances. So check us out, smartstewards.com, social media pages, Smart Stewards, and of course you can check me out too, Sola Adesakin, across the different social media platforms. Thank you.